All right. Welcome to the show. We've got a few people in chat. How are you doing today? Sunday afternoon. It's a beautiful day out. I thought I'd spend a little time with you guys. Let me find our music here. There it is. Okay. Turn it down a bit. So, good afternoon to everyone. Hope you're feeling good. Hey, Brandy, how you doing? Good to see you. So, I thought we'd go over some images today of our universe. They have what they claim is the most detailed images of our universe, and I want to go over it and see what it can show us, how it compares with what they tell us today, and how it compares with what they tell us of the past. Be an interesting stream, I hope. So we'll wait for people to roll in. It says there's 4 of you, so that's good. So we're going to start off. We'll put up an image, just a really cool one. I really like it. Gotta find it. Okay. Give me a moment. That's the one. We've got a lot of tabs open, a lot to show you. Close that. There we go. What a cool image. It's beautiful. And this is supposed to be a representation of the visible universe. So what they have, this bubble here, is the limits of what they can see. And from the bubble out is all imaginary, in my estimation. Our universe doesn't seem to be a very popular subject, but it will be after I show you some of the later images. It does relate to what the ancients say. It relates to, well, it almost contradicts what they say in some sense, and I can show you flaws and some other interesting stuff about what they show us. So this is what they claim as the observable universe, which you can accept that these are the images that they have compiled from various data. Let's take a look at another one. Let's see. There we are. So this is the observable universe in background radiation. Not much of a difference. The shape is a little different. Other than that, they're showing the radiation they claim from the Big Bang, which is, I'll accept that as well. We're going to get up in a minute to some images that are pretty cool. So let's look through a couple of others for a moment. See that one. Okay, the EBOS, our entire universe. Okay, this one's cool. This is an interpretation of the background radiation in different forms. I do like this one though. Zodiacal light removed is an interesting one. Observable sky. And here's the extragalactic background. 3 views of the infrared universe. So they've separated out the light to show us the different things. I have a bigger image of this. Let's see, where was that? This one. Look at this one first. This is cool. So this again is the background radiation, and they've given it a lot more color and texture throughout, so you can see it. And it does seem that we're looking at what looks like an inertial plane along the center. Now, they don't indicate in any of these where we are, which is an interesting thing to note. They kind of hide that from us. For some reason, I think your chat's not showing up. Are you guys chatting or not? All I've got is, hey, Max. Check over on YouTube, make sure everything's going all right. Let's see what's going on in this. Okay, just Brandy there. So this is a representation of the background radiation. And it does show an inertial plane. Oh, here we go. I can hear myself. So what do you think so far, Brandy? Since you're the only one here. Hey, Russell, haven't seen you for a while. Good to see you, buddy. So these are some pretty cool images. And they do show some things that I think demonstrate a lot of what we're talking about with an inertial plane, a toroidal field. This one is very interesting. This is supposed to be what we can observe, but they don't indicate where we are, which troubles me really. Let's see, there we are. Let's share this one again. So they have the observed sky, so what we can see. So we could assume that we're in the center here. We could assume that we're on the outside. I don't know. Now in this one, this is interesting. This shows more of a similarity to what you would call a toroidal field. We can see these purplish center bits coming up and out and down. You spelled your name. Oh, that's all right. She won't mind. So we've got various representations. We are getting to what I would call the piece de resistance soon. Show you another one. Yeah. This one's really cool too. This one shows a distinct background radiation inertial plane of the observable universe. Now, that could be because of our methods of observing. It could be something to do with the way the universe gets observed at such distances. I don't know. But we're going to accept it as an inertial plane of some sort, maybe, or a plane of higher radiation. Could be something flawed with their methods as well. Happy 3rd of July, Lucky. Good to see you. There we are. Now we get to the image I found rather telling. I imagine many of you have probably seen this image before. Hey, Mediarp, hallucinations. Yes, it's not a criticism, just a fact. What is it? It's the universe. Maybe it's burning lizard souls. It could be. But in this image, this is supposed to be the observable universe in spectral. What is it called? Spectroscopy. So this shows what they say is the observable universe, and they give the various areas different dates in different colors. Now, these are all applied colors. These are all applied dates. We can pay attention to them or we cannot. They're claiming that these are older stars at the outside edge here, and that these are the younger stars. Now, if the Big Bang was a Big Bang, this star here should be the same age as this star out here on the edge. Unless there's something creating new stars. Now, they say that if these stars have gone through nova, they would be new stars like these new stars, they claim, in star formation areas. We're hoping. And there's a few interesting points about this image that it's the latest, it's the newest, that are very telling. If we look at this radial pattern here on the bottom, and we compare it with this radial pattern on the top, it matches the toroidal field of 1 to 1.618. So this is over half the size bigger than the one on the bottom. And in a toroidal field, you have an energy input of 1 and an energy output of 1.618. And this angle here matches 1.6 around that. And this being what you would call a 1, You could measure all this out in 360 degrees, and it would be about 1.6 times bigger than this radiating piece they have here. So if we were to extend this out, what we would see, if it was an explosion, is just a continuation outward. But I'm wondering why it's not coming out aside somewhere. Why is it not coming in a circle? Why is it behaving like a torus field? Why is it doing a 1 on the bottom and a 1.618 on the top? Hey, Steve-O. Hey, is Pearl here? I guess Pearl's here. Yeah, there you are. Hi, Pearl. So there could be a lot of problems for Big Bang Theory, even with what they have presented to us. We know that the dating of stars is flawed. They do it by color spectrum, which is unfortunately woefully inaccurate. They've even admitted that themselves, that their dating methods for most things have major flaws. So if this was a toroidal field and they had the time to observe for a few million years or so, what they might see is stars coming in. Can you guys see my cursor? So stars coming in here at the bottom, right, hitting a pinch point or a Z point here at this 0, mark they have. And that matter coming back out, being formed into new forms, like a toroidal field at 1.618. To me, it matches much more their observations as being a toroidal field than being an explosion. The ancients say all is L, all is atomic, which is a toroidal field, similar to this, very similar to this, which rotates. Two toroidal fields, 1 to 1.618, and a pinch point in the middle. And as we saw before, there was an inertial plane in the background radiation images. What orientation that's on, I don't know. It may be straight across this plane here, which would make our toroidal field askew, or it could be running right along the middle between these two formations. Yeah, there's a lot to these toroidal fields. Hi, Albie, how you doing? Seems to me much of what mainstream cosmology has to offer is largely outdated or intentionally misdirected avenues of thought. Science doesn't happen without money. That is true, Albie. But we can take their observations and reinterpret them with new eyes, because they've given us all the data and all the information that tells us what they've got right and what they've got wrong. What they have right is there stuff here? Yes, there is stuff there. What they've got maybe wrong is what's the date of these things? How they got there. Why is there a small flash point in the middle, and these two radiating fan shapes like a toroidal field. Oh, I'm doing good, thanks, Albie. I sort of get it, but I don't know how to explain it. Okay, I was going to do some representations. Toroid for sure, Big Bang hokum. Yeah, I want to show you guys a couple of representations of what a toroidal field does and what a magnetic field does. It may not be quite what you think. I'm sure you understand the toroid quite well. Magnetic fields, how they operate, are a little different than what we thought in the past. So a toroidal field consists of a bunch of things. It does look like much like an apple. We can represent it like that. Okay. Just do a simple representation. Okay. I'm not going to draw all the fields that it has, but in this shape, the apple shape, you can see a toroidal field. And what you end up having is 12 fields, 6 positive and 6 negative. Now they spiral as well. They don't go straight up and down. But that's how a toroidal field operates. It goes in the top and out the bottom. Top would be positive at a rate of 1. That's why they inverted this image. They've probably inverted this image because this would be the positive side up here at 1. And up at the top here, they have the negative side, which would be the negative magnetic side. In a toroidal field, this would be the smaller side would be more electric, contain more positively charged electric particles. And in the negative side, it would contain more magnetic particles, if that makes sense to you. And there would be 12 fields, like our zodiac has 12 fields, 6 positive and 6 negative. And that's how a toroidal field kind of goes. There could be an infinite amount of Big Bangs that eventually interact with each other. That's possible. That's possible. I'm not into the Big Bang theory, but I'm going to show you what a magnetic field does. And it does something different than what most people think. So a magnetic field actually does this. This is hard to describe. Say you're going in, so that the field will come in. It will go down, around, and then it will hit the inertial plane. And it will go around and come back up. So it does a circuit like this. And it's a very strange thing compared to what we're taught. It does almost the flower of life. If you had 12 of those fields interacting, it would show as pretty much the flower of life. The old infinity symbol. Yes. That's how they get the infinity symbol. Yes. The old micro to macro. Yes. And this is where we get our vortex, our 2 vortices of the toroid field here. And here's where you get the inertial plane. So all of these things exist within I'm going to do a bad representation. The toroidal field. And all of these things are expressed in these images they show us. So is there a Big Bang, or is the universe a constantly creating toroidal field? It could be both ways. You could interpret it both ways. These fields are supposed to be the key to the universe. Yes, yeah. Yeah, it's so different than the rocket engine kinetic system we've got. Yes. So, I hope this gives you guys something to think about. They don't. I just don't think they interpret what they see right. And I see how it can be interpreted in a different way. So we can use what they see because some of this data is good, right? Some of the data they present, like that's what they observed. How they interpret it, well, we can do that differently. So, when you see what they show you, you can accept sometimes what they're showing you as an image. It is an image, but they're claiming this is an explosion. Okay. It only explodes in two directions. There's no fireball that I can see from what we would generally depict as an explosion. What I do see looks more like a toroidal field with energy coming in at 1 and coming out at 1.618. And they've inverted it, like they try to invert everything. That image should be the other way around. And it would match the toroidal field that I showed you on paper. And well, it's represented here as well. Sounds like my coffee is here. Awesome. Well, any thoughts? Any questions? Did you want to look at any of the other images? It does show quite a lot of interesting information. The data and how it's interpreted would be like Schrodinger's cat. Yeah, and we need more information than they've given. Like, I'm not sure that they've actually given us all the information they have. Big Bang Theory, just like the show, is more tolerable with added laughter. That's cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So if this does show the Big Bang as it has unfolded up until now, it doesn't look like an explosion to me. It looks more like a mechanism, like a machinery. Yeah, I do like the laugh track. We should get some for this show. That way I can go, this is an explosion. Ha ha ha. Have the background people laughing. That's an interesting thing, Albie. I wasn't aware of that. That's very interesting. Yeah, and funding has got a lot to do with what goes on. We know that for sure. If you're not researching the right stuff in the right way, yeah, that universe blowed up real good. See, and they claim that the background radiation is from the beginning of the universe. But when we look at it, even, let's take a look there. Yeah, let's look at a bunch of them. Share the search. So here, they show pretty much what looks like an inertial plane right across the center. Not in all of these images. There's some like this one that I showed you earlier that we have on big screen. But it shows what looks like an inertial plane. And they don't show any motion um, in their later image. I think it's in here. No, not in there. I do like this one. This one's interesting. I didn't bring this one up, but because it's a special trick of math, it's not actually the observable universe. It's squished. It's all squished in, so it's like a fisheye lens of it. So it doesn't really represent what we would see. It has all of the parts in there, but it's all that's cosmic hotspots. Now there are supernova. We have up here images of what they say, how the evolution of the universe went. Let's see if you guys can see that. No, you can't. Just up there. So from Big Bang to our galaxies, right there. Let me pull myself up big screen. So they have that, and that's a possibility, I guess. But could it be that these older stars? Hi, Marilena. Good evening. Yeah, it's good afternoon for me. Thank you. Not all things in space are omnidirectional like quasar or black hole. I'm just wondering if this could be a weird instrument reading or unknown phenomena. Yeah, we could take into account that they have their instruments are off, but uh, that image is a composite. The one in the end that I showed you. Let me share that again. I do like this one. It's beautiful. Um, the dating of these stars is highly suspect, but they gathered this with data over many years from 1998 to 2019. Uh, so they had various um, satellites scanning nearby, older, in different spectrum over years of time. And this is what they compiled out of those various images. That one diagram looks like an old esoteric black sun symbol. Interesting. Which one was that? I'll have to go back. Yeah, right, Russell. We can postulate. We can think about it. See, now when we talk about the ancient stories, the Nordic one, the Nordic myth of creation, as convoluted as it is, because it talks about a great cow the fire and ice, and the great Gunganap. So the the fire and ice represent the electron and proton, or could. The cow, with its great horns, um, can represent the torus field. So they have the positive and negative of the torus field in their story. And then as the story goes on, um, fire and ice met, and the cow was born. So cold and hot, positive and negative, met, and the cow was formed. And the cow started licking at the ice. And out of the ice came the gods. Now, if we look at the outside edge of this image here, and we kind of imagine, what if this outer edge is where the ice, or the cold, or the negative is? And that we are scrubbing out new material, new energy, new matter. And this is a growing toroidal field with constantly creating new matter from the ice and amplifying that matter through a toroidal field. I think our universe is constantly growing. I don't think there was a big bang. I think our universe may have started off as small as a dot. And over time, the ice was licked by the cow, the torus field, and matter was created. And I find even though they're talking about cows, gods, fire and ice, the great Gunganap, it's one of the most scientific documents in ancient literature. It's just the way they described things and the way they talked about things was more natural expression and a much better way, because it gives these things a personality. Hold on a moment. Could you? So, what do you guys think of that, comparing it with the really expensive math? So, a long exposure, yeah, very long exposure, over years and years, beefy. The Tropic of Cancer pressured south to the equator, equatorial, and Tropic of Capricorn pushed pressure north, the equatorial field, and assimilate in weather patterns. Possibly. Fire positive, ice negative. Yep. Yep. But it's actually hot, which is weird. Hell is supposed to be cold, and most people think hell is hot, but hell is cold. Cold as hell. I like the old stories too, Beefreen. The original meaning was modified over time to make it a tale worth remembering until society reaches a point at which it might again implement high knowledge. Yeah, but it gave it personality too, because these things do have personality. At least in my thinking, all energy is conscious. So this conscious energy that's being licked out of the ether, Oh, we got some spam. Somebody want to get rid of that over on YouTube? um, might have just followed up scientific notions, so the survivors of the apocalypses might play generations telephone. Yeah. So, unless you guys are all visiting that site. So, let's see, did somebody get rid of them? Thank you, B. Freeman. Yeah, it was a way to pass down knowledge. And if everybody could repeat the story, you could retain the knowledge if you embedded it deep enough. So, learning about the toroidal field from the cow or the bull, uh, you know, it's amazing what they pack into a few sentences in some cases. Maybe this person thinks that cheap sex dating is the answer to the. Maybe, yeah. Does that make the toroidal field go around? Just a waste of chi, right? Aboriginal stories were good. Now just joined with a 20-foot foil rocket. They want some of that space to. Embarrassing. You should see that rocket. Are they really seriously trying to make a rocket? Yeah, like some old legends seem to have layered meanings. Absolutely, Albie. I did quite a few shows a couple months ago about all the creation stories. I read them all, quite a few of them. I think about five of them or six of them. Uh, they all have so much in common, you know. Um, it's amazing, you know. Like you can read almost any of them, and you can see the similarities in them. Fire and ice is represented, the positive and negative, the magnetic, the electric, depending on how they represent it, you know. Yeah, you caught part of the Nordic gods ones. Let's see if we can find that. I don't remember. I think I played a small video for that one too. There's the Vedic creation hymn, Zuni creation, Norse. There we go. Let's see. Okay, get my headphones on here. South is the land of eternal raging flame.
A land of eternally raging flame. To the north,
To the north. Oh, it's echoey. The audio is terrible on this. Big screen, IMAX. Need some loving, do you?
in the time just after creation, there were three forms to existence. To the
I don't know
south
if you guys can hear that.
was Muspel, a land of eternally raging plain.
You guys hear that?
To the north
I'm
was
not
the
getting my sound.
a desolate and frozen tundra. In between the fire and the ice,
Images look like an eye, sun, sun,
emptiness,
knocking
known as
out
the
in the
night.
sun, timestamp, and things were
At
good.
Niflheim's
Maybe.
center, there came a great stone of water from above, from which the spring failed to make his birth, which in turn gave birth to 11 rivers. The rivers winded across the land, eventually
Can't
taking
hear it that well.
Niflheim's edge.
Okay. Yeah, I can. You can hear it? Oh, okay. Well, let's just look it up. I loved Ragnarok. Ragnarok was awesome. Oh, here it goes. The world was created from the remains of the giant Ymir. In Norse mythology, three brothers dragged Ymir's lifeless body towards the center of Gunganap. That's interesting. Towards the pinch point, maybe. This is the place where they created the world from, the remains of Ymir. The blood became the oceans, rivers, and lakes. The flesh became the land. That's the creation of the cosmos. Let's see. No, this is somebody's interpretation. Okay, this might be. At the beginning of time, nothing existed. The earth, the gentle oceans lapping up against the shores, man, animal had not yet been created. Only the great yawning abyss was present at the void of nothingness. Out of the abyss, a land of eternal mist, darkness, terrible cold, was formed to the north. To all beings, this land was. Oh, this is Earth. We have to get the great Gunga now. Let's type in Gunganap. There we go. Let's try that one. Then from the sword. Why are they hiding this? I can't find it. Wow. Not easy to find. It did take me a while last time to find a pure version of it. Accidentally dragged yourself a few summers ago. Yeah, maybe we'll just go back to the video that I did. It'll be easier. Because it took me a while to find that story in the form it was, without somebody trying to interpret it. Okay. So hopefully you guys can hear it. I had to listen to several of them to get a decent version. You got a repeating track on CIA experiments from the 60s. Nice. Oh, okay. All right. Really low audio.
Separate from the street, biting cold, the Niflheim winds froze the falls sun. Again and again,
Screen IMAX. Need some loving, do you?
in the time just after creation, there were three forms.
This is funny, me watching me.
To the south was Muspelheim, a land of eternally raging flame.
You guys hear that?
To the north
I'm
was
not getting
Niflheim,
my sound. A few summer goes and the air became water mixing with the space of the water above is like alcohol. Oh.
between the fire and the ice.
Yeah, that's
was
pretty
a great
wild.
nothingness, an emptiness known as Gemini.
Have you become a relentless super soldier yet?
At Niflheim's center, there came a great swelling of water from below, from which the spring failed to meet his purpose.
So they have all the elements in
Turn
here.
gave birth to 11.
11 Rivers is interesting.
The rivers winded across.
Is that the rivers of the toroidal field? Minus one? I don't know.
There became great
I
water.
wonder why 11.
Cascaded into the center. But before
It's
so
really
much
low
as
audio?
a drop could separate from the street, the biting cold of the Niflheim winds froze the falls sun.
Maybe the 12th of it was the positive side, because this is the cold.
Go back to the beginning
negative.
and I'll read it, because they do have the written version on the bottom there, so you can do that.
It was an interesting wiggler, like the veil was down for a while. Cool.
In the time just after creation,
In the time just after creation,
forms
there were three forms to
to the south
existence.
was Muspelheim,
To the south was the Muspel, a land of eternal raging flame.
a land of eternally raging flame. To the north
To the north was Niflheim, a desolate and frozen tundra.
So there's the fire and ice.
was Niflheim, a desolate and frozen tundra. In between the fire
And in between the fire and the ice was the
and
great
ice was
nothingness,
a great
the
nothingness,
Gunga.
an emptiness known as Gemini. At Niflheim's center,
At Nephilim's center, there came a great swelling of water from below,
came a great
So I wonder if this is the point.
from which the spring failed
from
to
which
Where-
the spring Evgermile,
Like, I wonder if that's the pinch point.
which in turn gave birth to 11 rivers.
turn, which in
This
turn
is
gave
the story
birth
I
to
want.
11 rivers. The rivers winded across the
Wind rivers crossed
eventually
land,
taking
eventually taking them to
I
the
would think Neptune, the hero,
where
could do it
they
by
became
himself.
great waterfalls that cascaded into
Hot, cold mixture. Okay.
but before
Something
so
but
much
moves
before so much as a drop
With
would
the orbits
separate
of the
the
sun?
stream.
separate from the stream,
Maybe.
biting cold,
The biting cold of the Niflheim winds, froze falls salt.
froze the falls sun. Again and again,
Again and again, the
I'm
springs
not sure about the super collider thing.
of
I cannot find the physical area
Broke
I
through the
traveled.
ice.
It's like another timeline version of a
broke through
place
the ice.
I know very well.
rebirthing the 11 rivers, which would freeze once more.
We have to work at that.
In this way, layer by layer,
You
Niflheim
just have to shift
Inched
into a
out
reality
into the
where
Gunga.
you're a super
Layer by
soldier.
layer, Niflheim inched out into the
like this version.
Niflheim grew ever out.
Niflheim grew outwards, and in time, the heat from the flames of Muspel.
So it
began
does
to reach
describe,
Flames of Muspelheim.
in my opinion, that describes the toroidal field quite well.
water.
And this image really kind of, for me, pulls this story in together, right? All right. Well, any further thoughts? I don't know. I think that their data puts a big dent in Big Bang Theory, but I don't know. And super soldier theory. Hmm. I don't know. I don't drink beer, so I haven't been to near Beer Roo. There they are again. Wow. Block user. Really? No, I can't do it here. I have to go over to YouTube. So they okay. Thank you. Okay, he's gone. Well, that's all I've got for that, guys. That was pretty fun. I thought those images were really cool. Yeah, awesome. So I thought those images were very telling and very damning, in my opinion, for the Big Bang Theory. Um, so we can use what they show us to interpret in different ways. And I think this was interpreted wrong by them. I think the interpretation of a toroid field is much better. You just subbed him? Awesome. Do you wish? What do you wish? Yeah, it does. And it's got no growth to it. By the Big Bang Theory, all that's here now is all that will ever be. Right? Hey, Alexander. Oh, you're welcome, buddy. By this theory, by the toroidal theory of the universe, we would be constantly creating and growing. I think it's a much more, it just fits nature much better, you know? Nature's not a stagnant thing, in my opinion. I think it's constantly growing. And we see that in life, so why wouldn't we see it in the universe, right? A soul without consciousness, what's the point? Well, I think all energy has consciousness, so yeah. Give you guys a few minutes to think of stuff. It does look very much like an energy field, yeah, as opposed to just a explosion, you know. Were there any of the other images you guys wanted to look at before we go? Hey, Spartan, how you doing? Good to see you. All right, Alexander. Have a good day. Thanks for coming by. So, any more thoughts on the Big Bang as opposed to toroidal field universe? I don't know if the toroidal universe is a new idea to anyone, but it's come to me over the past while. We may, let me see here. I think I have a few different interpretations of that. Let's see. Now there is this radiation image. It's not the same. I'll go to actually the search I did for that one. But this one here kind of backs up too, with an inertial plane showing along the middle, and a lot of swirling going on, a lot of additional swirling and stuff. But, go back. There we go. This one has a few different ways of viewing it. There's that one. They show it at pretty much the same angle with the same. Thank you, honey.
Let's hope this is right. It's a different person.
Yes, it is. Thank you. My coffee came. So I can go longer. I have coffee. Maybe we'll talk about something different. Let's see. There's a good one. This one shows it pretty good. Their angles are different too. They show it almost equal. Equal angles, which is interesting. The pic looks like a gemstone, like an opal. Yeah. Fire opal. Yeah, absolutely. The cats are really lording over you. Hi, Randy. Yeah, I like those shiny, shimmery things. Okay. So there are different ways they've interpreted. Oh, that's a cool one. That one's really cool. Much different than the one they showed us before. So they do have, they don't even seem to see it in the same way as each other. They interpret it in different ways. Cool. The fire opals. The third one down on the left, you see your veins look like a spaceship. Yeah. Most energetic. Search. Ooh, look at that. Most detailed map of our universe. Is that really it? That shows something completely different, doesn't it? These are rather interesting. These are 2016. So they're prior to the one I showed you at the end, the one that looks more like a toroidal field. Interesting. But I do like this one. It's cool. That shows a 1 to 1.618. distribution as well. Same as the toroidal field construction that we see from the ancients, as they tell us. Universe expanding 9% faster than I thought. Okay. How to take HPV. Oh my God. That is terrible, Spartan. Much prettier than your petrified corn critter. Yeah, and prettier than my petrified dino poop or whatever it is. I do like my petrified heart, though. That's a good one. I love that one. That one's pretty. Little tiny goose or swan heart. Really cool. Lots of scraping sounds, but nothing there. Maybe you've got a cat in your ductwork. Yeah, call Ghostbusters. Mustard, yeah, grows like mustard. 9% faster. Yeah, maybe you got critters in your attic. Have you cleansed your house recently? What you do is you salt the corners with the intention of clearing all entities out. And you can invite back in who you want. I do it about every 3 months or so, I would say. Things clinging to us and negativity and stuff, you can clear it out with a little salt. Mustard, where? Do I have mustard on me? No, I don't. I don't know what you mean, Trey. Yeah. Just do that I do it about every 3 months, Albie. I just salt the corners, the farthest corners of the house. Yeah, just cleanse your area, see if that helps. If not, start searching for critters. Mustard does grow fast. I've grown mustard. It's tasty too. It's got a taste like radishes almost. Watercress and radishes, I'd say. It's really good. And if you're ever like, I have mustard seed ready to grow if I have to. It'll grow in a week or two. It'll grow big. And if you let one grow like for a month, you're gonna have a big bush. Show the heart again. Okay. There you can see the black on the top. This is where the blood has come out. Right over this one here. Oops, right there. And a bunch on the top here. Get in focus. You can see the lines. It's not coming in very good. I have the sunshine streaming in on me. And that'll get it better. Which is the up way. I like to hold it up. Of course. So there you go. You can see that it's got the lines for the separation of the chambers. It has another one going along the other way. And on the back, It's got the, well, on the top, it's got all the black intrusion of all the arteries coming out. It doesn't have those anywhere else, except for on the side here where there's a side ventricle. And on the back, it's got what looks like a hardened part that the heart actually pumps on. What it does is that the back of the heart is kind of much more stiff, and the muscles pull in and out from that harder shell on the back. So I've looked at all the hearts I could find online, and this closest matches a goose heart. So probably a goose heart. Goose or swan, some type of large bird. It does look like a chunk of meat. It really does look like a fossilized organ. We also found in one of our walks a foot, and it looks like it's one of the ancient foots. And right here in the middle, there's a circular pattern. And what is believed, because other people have examples exactly like, well, not exactly like this, but very similar to this, that have the same shape, the same color variations. I can show you. I need some water to do that, but found a feet, yeah. I'll grab some water and I'll show you guys, because it is really neat to me how these things keep repeating, and we can find examples matching these structures all over the place. These are called what Mud Fossil University would call no-toes. Just going to wet it down a bit so you can see the difference in color. So the theory goes, this is my newest mud fossil, that on the bottom they had a pad that was actually bolted to their foot. So let me see if you guys can see this. So on the top here, you can see how it's a reddish color. Okay, that's where the toes would be. This would have been the big toe right here. You can see that there is dark material, which would probably be where a vein or artery was. And on the bottom, it is wet that down. It's perfectly gray with no color variations really at all. And there's a separation line between the gray. So you can see reddish. And right along here, you can see it separates from red to gray down here. And when it dries, you can see right in the middle here, get it in focus. So it should be right here. There's a circular pattern. You can see the bottom of the circle in white there at the very edge of my fingertip. It goes all the way around and over to here. And that's believed where there is a bolt or a nut put on a bolt that's in the bottom of the person's foot. I don't know how they do that surgically or whatever, or if they grow them somehow with them there. But we can find that pattern repeating over and over again. If I find his spirit soul, to his twin face. Someone's asking about Esau. I just thought he was extra hairy. Maybe his toes were blown off. Maybe. Well, there you go, Randy. Maybe Canaanites, retro, return, retro, rutro, rutro, winterwood down. I have a fossil finger. Yeah, Marlena learned about mud fossils. She went out like the next weekend and found a finger and what looks like a brain, a giant finger too. It's huge. It's probably about 8 inches long. You know, fairly wide, about an inch wide, with skin too. Yeah, she has skin on hers as well. I'd love to see it, Spartan. I love mud fossils. And they're everywhere. So yeah, those are the. And I also found a petrified poop. It's cool. It's got really cool colors. That's what it looks like dry. You can still see some of the colors in it. There might be opals in there apparently, or other gemstones. But right now it's just a poop. See all the reds and different colors. Doesn't that one red part look like ruby? Well, look like ruby. I wonder if there's ruby in here. I wonder if this is a giant gemstone, eh? That'd be cool. Just get in focus. No, it won't fit. There we go. It does have a lot of the red stone in it. What would happen if I polish this up? Something really is really shiny in there, yeah. I've been test riding my bike today. So freeing. Nice. Awesome, Libra Moon. Yeah, you can find these all over the place. They're magnetic. So if you find rocks that I thought it looked like a piece of cement because it was so covered with dust when I found it. But it's highly magnetic. If you take a magnet, it's got a lot of iron in it. I suppose I could magnetize it, but yeah, you can find them using a magnet and confirm that they are magnetic. Yeah, something really shiny in there. Paul, Saul, Abel, nothing to do, and turning Babel books. I don't know. Maybe we could get ourselves rich, collect gem collecting, going around and finding dino poops. There might be something really nice inside there. I might be willing to find out at some point. I would really love to cut this heart in half to see if I could see all the workings inside, if that's still maintained. Right, that would be awesome. You can even see the lines of the muscle going along here. Like this is really almost a perfect example of a heart. Almost undeniable, really, in my opinion. So if you guys go out, you can find these too. It's not that hard. As I say, yeah, I have a few magnets. Going to look for some treasure. Why not? You know where I found this? This was in a parking lot. It was just in a pile. Um, it was just in a parking lot. That's just where it was. They hadn't paved the parking lot. They put down some gravel. I'd like to find a meteorite as well. They're probably a lot rarer than mud fossils. He made it back again. Wow. We must be talking about bad stuff. That's our fault. That's our bad. It's just alternative theories to what they say. Yeah, 1,000-gram meteorite. A friend of mine had one. It was this big. It was a perfect sphere. It was this big. It looked like it was all cratered, and really it looked like now that I think back on it, it looked like some type of lung tissue because it was holy all the way through. It had holes about half a centimeter all the way through it and all over it. A different smut bot. Yeah. Cheaper sex than Tinder. Wow. Yeah, mud fossils is always one of my favorite subjects. I just can't believe how easy they are to find. That's the part that amazes me. They're everywhere because it seems that everything was at once a mud fossil. Unless you believe, and this goes back to what we were talking about too. Do you believe that the Earth is just a big ball of dust? Trey won't like this part. Um, I think the Earth is a giant dead dragon, half a giant dead dragon, not an entire one. And I was thinking about the bottom half, Trey. I was wondering if it was Uranus. Wouldn't that be like the best thing for the bottom half of Tiamat to be? I was thinking Pluto, but what about Uranus? Maybe that's where the other half of Tiamat is. In one of the creation stories, the Enuma Elish, Marduk and Tiamat have a battle. Tiamat is the earth. Half of Tiamat is used to make the earth. But where's the other half? The bottom half. I don't know where it is. So it could be Uranus, could be Pluto. There's a big hole on Pluto, a big crater, volcano-like looking thing. I don't know. Is that Tiamat's bum? But she probably have a lot of tail. So there'd be her legs, maybe. If she had legs, she may have been a total serpent because there are different types of dragons. Ones with legs, ones without, ones with wings. So she may have been one with wings, with a tail, with legs. I don't know. So we have to be able to see these other planets before we can decide. But yeah, you don't mess with Tia. But by the science theory, the modern science theory, our Earth is formed from a big dust cloud. We're just a big dust cloud that formed together, and that's all that is. And it was a big hot mass of steaming shit for a long time. And then eventually it cooled, and we formed these weird shaped continents that don't seem to cool in any type of a pattern that you can surmise would be something cooling around a hot um, sun, spinning. Because if that were the case, wouldn't the more solid bits be on the top and bottom? There's a large hole in Uranus. I don't know if there is. There isn't. There's a large, what looks like a volcano, or maybe a butthole on Pluto. Yeah, Saturn rings. No, not that type of ring. I don't think it's that type of a ring. But are we a ball of dust that just formed and there were continents and upheavals and stuff, and that's why the Earth is the shape it is, more like a potato than a ball? Because they'll even admit to you now that the Earth is not really round; it's more shaped like a potato. Let me show you some images that are really cool. Let's see if I can find them. Yeah, there's some decent one. Some. Let's see here. Okay, we'll just share the search. And we'll look at some of them. So here's a really good one that kind of more represents the shape of the Earth. It's not really round at all. That's a little bit over exaggerated, mind you, I think. The Earth is like a lumpy potato. And there we go. That's closer to what the actual shape is. Here's what they present to us. But it's not like that at all, really. Here we go. This one's good. It shows all the four sides. And that really is a better representation of what our Earth is like. It's not at all like a ball. The real shape of the Earth. You believe in God. Oh, that's funny. Earth's true shape. Here's an interesting one. That's cool. I've never seen that interpretation before. Have you? Large hole in Uranus, Saturn rings. I was wondering if the frequency from Saturn is manipulated. Hex clouds. Could be. It could be. There's the David Icke speaks of the Saturn Moon matrix, and I don't know. It has some credibility to it, I think. Yeah, there's the hexagonal clouds at the top of Saturn. Saturn also has a crown now. There's a aurora at the crown of Saturn right now. Because we're entering a more energetic area of our universe, I think. What we're getting is things like this. Let's go to images. And what it is really is it's like our sun. Velikovsky says that Saturn used to be our sun. And here it is kind of firing up a little bit. We can see the aurora starting at the poles, right? And what it'll do is it'll just continue. And if it got enough energy, it would that aurora would expand out across the planet, and it would look like the sun eventually, or maybe a brown dwarf sun, or something, or a yellow sun. We have a white sun now, but Saturn was probably our old sun, and here's kind of some evidence that shows it. The Saturn cube, yeah. Palladian dust settles in these rings, dust clouds, star seeds, debris fields that conglomerate into bodies with rings. Some get released, like Earth. Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. I do agree with Velikovsky's. Well, that's cool. That's a cool one. Shows the Earth. It says it's Saturn's, but that's probably somebody's animation, I think, though. That's really cool. Now, here's one of the Earth firing up. So, yeah, can Jupiter's aura. There we go. And Jupiter was apparently a sun for a while as well. The story is they're the two brothers. The father. The father, the son, and the two brothers. But yeah, could Saturn fire up as a sun again? In a binary system, yeah. If we got enough energy in. Saturn cube hidden in plain sight, right? And these will have toroidal fields as well. There's a toroidal field in each planet. And there's a good image. There's us scrubbing through the ether. With our pitch, the solar wind. Are we creating matter as we go? There we go. There's the hexagon. See, and that represents the Taurus field, because that's 6 positive and 6 negative fields interacting alternatively. So positive, negative, all the way around. There's 12 fields. We see it as 6, but it's actually 12, because there's spaces in between here. The points, spaces in between are the negative, or the positive, I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But that represents a 12 field. Maybe the Earth is the sun now? Could be. Maybe. But there again, we're showing that the toroidal field has 12, like the zodiac, fields, 6 positive and 6 negative. So everything from the atom or light, that will have 6 positive and 6 negative fields. The zodiac will have 6 positive, 6 negative fields. Saturn will have 6 positive and 6 negative fields. You and me will have 6 positive and 6 negative fields. Everything from the micro to the macro. And what about us being a sun? If we receive enough energy, or would we just burn up? Seems like it's pretty tough on a body because none of these planets are alive. Their spirits or their uh, toroidal field would be alive or conscious to some degree of consciousness, but their bodies are dead. The earth is a dead thing. Ovid, Hesiod, the Bible, Jesus all quote that, that the earth is a dead thing. The ancient stories say that it was a creature in battle that got killed and is dead. So the earth is a dead thing. And maybe it could be a sun at some time. If there was enough energy put through the earth's system, the earth's toroidal system, it could glow like Saturn is right now. And it could probably glow like a sun. But I don't think it's a sun now. But it could be. Got the Saturn cube on video. Yeah, I don't know that I'm sub to you there. Let's see. I haven't seen anything of yours posted lately. No, I am sub to you. Okay. Sitting above the clouds watching. When the clouds move, you can see it. Awesome. Different angular items in the sky. Some look like cubes. Yes, I've seen what look like invisible cubes in the clouds. There's nothing there, but the cloud looks like there's a cube, an invisible cube just plunked down in the middle of it. That area is all free space and completely clear, but it just looks like there was a plastic cube just plunked right into the cloud. So is that the Borg? I don't know. My brother-in-law says there's a giant mothership above the planet. I don't know how accurate he is, but I think they're all alive. In what way, Brandy? Like, are they going to move? Like, if they're alive and they start moving, like, we're fucked. Like, we'll be fleas flying all over the place. Or you think the things in the sky are alive? You got to tell me what you're talking about, Brandy. Complete sentences, guys. We were talking about quite a few things there, Brandy, so which one? I'm beginning to think they're all alive too. Now, again, B. Freeman, what? Planets? Spaceships? The things in the sky? I don't know. Jupiter was Saturn's sun, still is, 2 hymns. Maybe. But they don't orbit around each other. Those clouds anomalies look like they use camouflage. Yeah. The planets are alive. Okay. Well, that would suck, Brandy, because if they started to move, we're totally screwed. Like, everything we've built will just crash down, and we'll probably just get flung off into the universe. And that would really suck. That would suck hard. So I'm hoping that, like the ancients say, the earth is a dead thing, the earth is a corpse. He who discovers the earth discovers a corpse, it says in the Nag Hammadi scriptures. Um, I have that one actually. I like that quote. I think I have a quote. The Norse tale say that Ymir was killed. Half his body was used. The Norse mythology says that says that the Sumerian says that Tiamat was killed, and half her body was used to make the earth. So the ancient stories claim the earth is dead. Now, it doesn't mean that the earth does not have spirit or soul or consciousness. All things, all energy have consciousness, in my opinion. That's going to take a lot of reading. It's very small print. There's a lot of it. Let's see. Where is it? Oh well, I'm not going to find that right now. Yellowstone could wipe us out. Absolutely, one big burp. Hey, like each planet have a consciousness. I think so. I think all energy, all matter is conscious to some degree, not to differing degrees. Um, the angels are said to envy us because of our consciousness. I think the gods, the planets, or gods, and the various gods of the zodiac, they envy us for our consciousness, our tactile, low vibrational consciousness. Um, Even the stories that have several different meanings, spiritually, physically, spirits came down, or angels came down to earth because of their envy for man, for mankind. God made us greater than the angels, and and they lusted after us in the stories. I like Earth; it's got everything. You bet. It doesn't have, any really. Well, it has some hostile areas, but most of it's pretty good. Yellowstone is incredibly huge. Yeah, I'm out of the blast zone, so it's okay. I'm on the other side of the country. I'll get some fallout from it, probably. Unless it goes off really, really big, like a huge pimple. And then maybe I'm screwed. Big chunk of lava lands on my building or something. Okay. Just got to post. Kratos. Well, that's all we've got for this, guys, I think. We fleshed this out pretty good. Some folks like hostility, I guess. Yeah, it seems so. Some people want to have it all, right? And there seems to be some value in they didn't offer them you having it all and other people having nothing. For some reason, that seems to be important instead of having a shared wealth and a shared world of abundance, which we do have. There's abundance in this world beyond what people believe to such a degree. And these people are trying to, they did it for the nookie. Yeah, that's one interpretation. It could be an energetic thing as well. Um, in See here in the zodiac, we have the will of God, Holy Spirit, seraphim, cherubim, the spirit of will, curiosities, dynamis, exousia, Elohim. There's the archai, the archangels. There's the angels and humans. And we're all represented on there, and those are the various powers of the zodiac, represented in and anthropomorphized, so that we can get a deeper understanding of them and understand that they do have consciousness. So the angels are over here in Capricorn, or sorry, Sagittarius. Oh, sorry, no, Aquarius. July 5th should be fun once CERN has its way. Yeah, well, we'll see. We shall see. There are people working on that as we speak, Lucky. Because it's an energetic thing they're doing, right? They're trying to, in some people's mind, alter pretty much ether, you know, to allow negativity and negative entities. So I don't know if you watched our Super Collider Sundays, but there's other people working on that too. So thinking about the cosmos, yeah. I love the cosmos. I like thinking about how it came to be, what it is. Mexican street dog right now. Awesome. I like that they're friendly, eh, Spartan? Yeah, CERN is. Maybe there's a squirrel nest being built in there right now. Oh, wow, really? Back again. Or a different one. Oh, got him. Thanks, B. I really, really don't like what we're talking about. Or just putting out these bots on us randomly. I was in the in somebody's suggestion box the other day. That was amazing. You adopted one a year ago? Nice. That's nice. It's good to take care of animals. We need those animals. We need those animals out in the wild to take care of all the. Oh, thanks, Noel. Much love to you. Love and gratitude for showing up. Thank you. Yeah, it's good having those animals out there because they'll get the rats. They'll get rid of the rats. They'll get rid of all the vermin that infest people's homes and stuff. Vermin don't want to hang around if there's a bunch of dogs or cats hanging around, you know, and that's a good thing. There's wild cat populations in Hamilton here, but not enough. They do round them up quite a lot. I live in a big city. There are some feral cats, but not enough, really. We do need more. They claim that they're killing the birds, but they really don't. They would kill no more birds than other predators that live around here. They're just taking the place of fox in our area. Because we have fox and other animals that do hunt birds a lot, like a lot of birds, but they're not in this area now. So cats could take that place. Like we have hawks and stuff, birds that hunt, but we don't have any of the land creatures around that hunt. Like they won't let fox stay in the city. Uh, and we've had fox walk right by us. They don't bother with humans. Um, they just want to get by humans to get birds and mice and stuff. Yeah, vampire deer. Wish I was quick with my camera because he was no less than 6 to 8 feet away from us as well. We were on a small bridge, small cement bridge, and he walked right by us to go and get some birds he was hunting because he's been driven out of his area up to the west. But we need animals in the city. We do, I think. It's good that they have dogs down there. Keep the vermin out. All right, guys. I think that's about it for today. Thanks for showing up. Much love to you all. Keep that third eye open. Think about our universe for a while. Think about the toroidal field. And think about the other theories that they put forward. Let's consider all things and take in what we can from each different theory and see if it matches from what our logic and intuition tells us, right? Bye bye.